Hi, it's Morgan and welcome to the Dove's Nest. Today I'm taking you on our very first weekly walkthrough. I'm going to be showing you what's in our work boxes for the entire week's activities. If you haven't already, be sure to check out my video regarding how I set up our work boxes. I'll be sure to link that above. And then also be sure to check out my video regarding our Tot-School schedule. So this is an example of my schedule for the week. The very first thing that we start with is we go outside and we do the Pledge of Allegiance, and then we come back in and we do our circle time. We have an opening prayer, and then we start in with singing time. And we usually sing a couple of songs that have to do with themes that we're learning about that week in different areas. We do some fun poems and finger plays or nursery rhymes or just get the wiggles out songs. So that happens immediately after our calendar time. So first up we have religion. Now next week our theme is Heavenly Father has a plan for me, and then this is our actual memory verse. And I usually have this just hanging up on display, sort of where we do our circle time, and we go over it a few times. We are learning a new song next week called I Lived in Heaven, and we'll be singing it every day. And here I got these little printables from a website called Gospel Grab Bag, and they just are little image prompts that have the words of the song underneath, so it makes learning it a little bit easier. So we're going to be doing that every day. And on Monday, we're going to start just sort of an introduction into our theme, Heavenly Father has a plan for me. So on Monday, we're going to read this book called The Great Plan of Happiness. It sort of goes over where we came from before we were here on earth, why we're here on earth, where we're going after we leave earth, and the illustrations are just super cute, kind of fun. It's a really lengthy book. I mean, it's got a lot of information, so I'm not sure how much we'll actually read and how much we'll just sort of look at the pictures and skim through, but I've got that for Monday's activity. Then on Tuesday, we're going to be singing our song, and we're going to be doing this file folder game called I Lived in Heaven, and it's more kind of a build-a-scene. It's blank on the inside, and then there are the little pieces with God and Jesus and little stars and then little spirit children. So we're going to be putting that together. And this is from an Etsy shop called Green Jello with Carrots. I have, I think, all of her file folder games, and they are amazing. They're so good. So we're going to be doing that on Tuesday. On Wednesday, we are going to be doing this Plan of Salvation file folder game, and it looks like this on the inside, and then there's little pieces that he can actually match up the different steps of kind of the plan, like where we were before, here's earth, where we go when we die, the judgment, and then there's little like spirit bodies and actual little pieces that are little boy and girl bodies, you know, to kind of separate earth from living, which is really cute. On Thursday, I have images from an illustrator called Christina Lynch, and I actually found these through Pinterest. But she just has the most darling illustrations, and so I printed a bunch of them just through Costco Photo Center. And I just sort of figured we could use these and kind of map out all of the different steps of the plan. And if we need any help, that book that we were reading Monday, The Great Plan of Happiness, actually comes with this giant poster. And so we can use those Christina Lynch images to sort of match up the different steps of the plan onto that poster. On Friday, we're going to be doing a little different activity. This coming Sunday is Easter Sunday. And so on Friday, we're going to be doing, this is kind of like a file folder game, but really small, and it doesn't fit in a file folder, so I made it sort of a little book. But this is sort of, if you've seen online resurrection eggs, you know, usually you take the plastic eggs and put a little object in them. This is sort of like a file folder activity for those. And so, you know, you have things like learning about the nails on the cross or something, and then the resurrection of Jesus. So we're just going to take these off and sort of look at each picture, and then the story about what it is, what that object represents about the resurrection is on the back here. I cannot think of the Etsy shop that I downloaded these from, but I will be sure to link that below as well, because we are going to be using these all year long in Tot-School. They're such fun, simple file folder games. So next in our workbox system is language development. Now, Abeka is set up to sort of learn all of the colors in 1 week. Now, when I initially planned this curriculum, I had set 2 weeks aside for my son to learn colors. We were going to learn one color every single day for 2 weeks, and that was when he was 2. He only knew maybe 3 or 4 colors at the time, so I thought spending 1 day would be a really good way to just dive into learning those colors. It's now a year later, he knows all of his colors and would have been super bored. So I sort of went back to the way that Abeka had it set up, where we learned all of the colors last week, and this week we don't really have anything as far as Abeka. So we're gonna be doing some different activities. Now, these activities aren't necessarily based on Abeka, but I figure it could be a good review for our colors and then a good segue into starting to learn about numbers and math concepts. So on Monday, I have these little printables that I got from Pinterest, I want to say. These are from Stay Classy Classrooms. And it's just, you know, the little 6 frame and then all different colors. And so I'm just going to take all of these off of the Velcro, put them in a bowl, and he can go through and then sort them onto all of the color mats. And since we learned our colors last week, this will be a really good review for him. So the rest of this week for our language development, we are actually going to be using our counting bears and doing quite a few activities with those. So on Tuesday, we're going to be reading Goldilocks and the 3 Bears. And then I actually just made in Microsoft Publisher this teddy bear size sort. So we have the small, the medium, and the large bears. And, you know, we'll just do whatever, all colors, I guess, until he's bored. But, you know, we have the large, the medium, and then the small bears. And he can just go through and grab a bear and sort by size. And that's a really great introduction to pre-math concepts. Sorting is amazing, whether it's by color or by size or by shape. Sorting concepts are actually algebra. So that's a really fun activity to go with the 3 bears. Next, we're gonna be using our color bears. And these I got from Life Overseas. I'll be sure to link all of these below. And they're just little cards. Now you can use these with little paper clips or clothespins, like clip cards, but we're actually going to be using them the hands-on. So for 1 bear, he's just going to be placing 1 bear on the card. And so I have those. On Wednesday, that was Wednesday. Thursday, we are going to be doing these color clip cards. These I got, I'm not even sure. Again, I found everything on Pinterest. So I just have these little color bear cards, and then they come with these little crayons that you just glue to a clothespin, and it's a little clip card, matching clip card. So he'll find the proper color, and again, just go ahead and clip the card on. And then for Friday, we're going to be doing some patterning. And so I actually got this set, again, I'll link it below, and it's pages and pages of different patterns, but I only printed the AB patterns and then the AABB patterns just to get started because we've never done patterning before. So the 2 activities I'm actually going to have him do with this is take our color bears and actually place a bear on each little bear here and then finish it. And then sort of as we get going, he can just add the bear at the end to finish the pattern rather than doing the entire thing. So that's sort of it for our development skills, our language development skills next week. Now, Abeka doesn't introduce phonics or numbers until the 3rd week. So not until the following week are we doing anything with letters or numbers. So our next subject is going to be our skills development. Now for skills development, I get most of our activities from our Spectrum workbooks. If you haven't seen those, I will link the curriculum, our Tot-School curriculum video above, and you can check those out. On Monday, we're going to be doing a cut activity. So he's just gonna cut along this line. We're cutting straight lines, folding and making a little caterpillar. On Tuesday, we're actually going to be doing some Amber Lamb. So from our Rebecca Growing Up with Amber Lamb cards, we'll be doing one of those. Wednesday, we're going to be working on some tracing. So I have just some horizontal tracing, and then I have a second page of up and down tracing, and I'm just going to do that in one of these clear sheet protectors with a dry erase marker. Thursday, again, we're going to be doing an Amber Lamb activity, and then Friday we're going to be doing this cut and paste puzzle. So he's going to cut out these two pieces and then paste them in the proper sequence. Next we have science, and I am so excited about science. This month, well, for the next 4 weeks or so, we are learning all about me and the human body. And so next week's activities are focusing on skin, bones, and muscle. And we only do science on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays most of the time. But first, to give us an introduction to the human body, I have this Melissa and Doug magnetic puzzle. And it comes with, you can see here, there's a girl version and a boy version, but it's got the skeleton, it's got the organs, the muscles, the circulatory system, skin. So we're gonna be doing this on Monday. I guess there's a better sort of picture of it in the back. And then I have just some gloves here, and we're sort of gonna just put on our gloves and go outside, maybe dip our hands in the pool, dip our hands in some dirt, and talk about, some germs and dirty things and how our skin is waterproof and it helps keep the germs away. Very, very basic learning about skin. I also recently found a YouTube channel called Operation Ouch. It's actually clips from a show based in the UK, and they're these two doctors, and they talk about different medical concepts, I guess. And so they actually have a video for skin. It's 45 minutes long, and so I'm gonna have to go through and preview and maybe just pick out the parts that I want. But they also have one for bones and muscle, which is really fun. So we're gonna watch one of those little videos each day that we're focusing on that particular subject. So we'll watch the skin video on Monday as well. Wednesday, we are learning about bones. So again, we'll watch the Operation Ouch video. And then I found these on Pinterest. This is from Tried and True blog, and they're just different pictures of x-rays. They were more with it. It was sort of a Montessori activity where it was, the x-ray of the skull and then a picture of a head, and you sort of match. But I just did this so that we could just sort of talk about the different x-rays and the different body parts, and maybe just, hold our hand, and that's what the bones of our hand look like. Hold it up on the inside. What's fun about this one is just this last weekend. It's not fun, but my son had pneumonia, and so he went and got x-rays, and so this was the x-ray that he just saw of himself. So I might just tell a little white lie and tell him that we brought the x-ray home with us. So we're gonna look at some x-rays. Next, we are going to, I have a whiteout pen, and we're just gonna trace his hand on a whiteout pen. And then we are going to cut and paste Q-tips to sort of make our little hand bones on that black construction paper to make it look like our own x-ray. And then lastly, for bones, I found this little guy in the Target dollar spot. It's a crocodile dentist game, or a miniature version, but I just thought it was so cute. So learning about bones can be kind of hard because they're in our skin and you can't really see, but you can see our teeth, and our teeth are bones. So we're gonna talk about, keeping our bones healthy. You can see our bones, brushing our teeth. It'll be a great segue into starting to teach him to brush his own teeth now that he's 3.5. He should be doing that by himself. And then Friday, we are learning about muscles. So again, we have an Operation Ouch video. Something else we are going to do is we are going to trace our hand on this construction paper, cut it out, and then we're going to, I have 5 straws here, and on each of the fingers we're going to glue a straw. We're going to obviously cut these into smaller little snippets and sort of glue it like a macaroni necklace. So I have a straw, and then I have these little balloons. And we're gonna feed the balloon through each of the straws. And so, say this is our paper hand cut out with the straws going down and the balloons fed through, we're gonna sort of be able to pull the balloons so that you can see, you know, how our muscles help our bones to move. So it'll be really fun, and we've got some really, really fun books that we're gonna be reading along with these science units next week. So be sure to check out my video. I'll link it above, our What We're Reading This Week library haul video. So be sure to check that out. So next we have our colors and shapes, or our art activities. And so on Monday, we're just gonna play with Play-Doh because it's fun, and I didn't really plan much for Monday. But this month, we are learning about the color red, and the circle is our shape. We're focusing on those. And so from our Spectrum workbooks, I have just this red page that we're going to probably do something with some manipulatives, maybe matching, or who knows. Next, we're going to be coloring this fire truck page. This is from the Abeka Nursery Art book. We also are going to be doing this red page for strawberries. Next, we're doing a circle. Again, we'll probably use some manipulatives and things to cover. He's not great at handwriting and tracing, and so we're still really working on those fine motor skills. So circling and or Xing, I just don't think we're there yet. We're gonna work into it really slow. And so we may again use manipulatives. He might be able to just cross something off. We'll have to see. And then there's again a circle activity, and we will probably just have some cookies or something after that. So that's a fun little manipulative activity. And then we have, again, just different, I have these little buttons from Walmart, and they're just all different color circle buttons. And so we're gonna do just a little color sorting. I have these little bins from the Dollar Tree, and we'll just put one into each bin, and he can work on color sorting those buttons. So that's sort of our colors and shapes lesson. And then lastly, on Friday, I haven't made it yet, obviously, but we are going to be making a sensory bin with some rice and some of this Kool-Aid. And then I have these color tubes from Walmart. And so we're just gonna be putting some red objects into a red rice sensory bin and playing that way. Lastly, I have our gross and fine motor skills activity. And so one of the things we're going to be doing, we haven't done before, so I don't know how well this will go over, is a little circle lacing card. I couldn't tell you where I got this, either the Target Dollar Spot or the Dollar Tree. So we're gonna be trying this. It may be a little too difficult because, like I said, he's never done it before, but we're going to be doing it anyway. I also have this little fine motor activity. These are nuts and bolts. And I think I probably got these off of Zulily, but they're these giant nuts and bolts, and they come in all 6 colors of the rainbow, and they just put them in, and then they have to work on twisting the nut onto the bolt. And they can do it whatever color they want, or they can color match or shape matching also. They are all different shapes, different colors. There's blue. So we're going to be doing that activity as well for fine motor. And then for our gross motor activity, I don't have it here because it is too big. We have a big hula hoop, and we're just going to practice walking around a circle, hopping over the circle, standing in and out of the circle, maybe do some Simon Says with the giant hula hoop. And that will incorporate our shape of the month, and then also get us outdoors and doing some fun gross motor activities. And the last drawer in our workbox system is for our weekly readers. And those are all of the books from the library or from our home library that we're going to be reading this week. But I'm not going to show you in this video because I've made a separate video for that. So I'll link that one above. And thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video and would like to see more, give it a thumbs up. And if you'd like to continue with us on our Tot-School journey, be sure to subscribe. Thanks so much, and I'll see you in my next video.